Fanzone, united by the game, powered by Moore's World of Sport.
Welcome to Fanzone, your hottest and latest destination for all Zimbabwean sport. We bring you passion, drama, and non-stop action, all happening here in the Fanzone studio. My name is Sips.
And I'm Steve Vickers. So Scotland are the champions, are taking the title with 2 games to spare as they thrash Kwekwe United on Sunday. What an achievement. And Dynamos could survive after they won the game that they had to win, beating Bokita Minerals also on Sunday. Lots and lots to talk about on the show as always. We have got a packed show today actually. Great guests once again. Marshal Gore is with us. Hi there, Marshal.
Well, thank you, Steve, for hosting me today.
Great to have you with us. Marshal, we know him for his work in the Diaspora with the Warriors, with Zimbabwean footballers abroad. He is the ZIFA Diaspora Engagement and Global Interactions Chair. Did I get that correct?
You got that correct. Perfect.
So much to talk about with the Warriors and our potential overseas-based players in particular. And who's the young man here? Clifford Dzvairo is here, the man who is the coach of Hunters FC from Marandera, winning promotion into the PSL. Welcome, Cliff.
Thank you very much, Steve. It's my pleasure being here.
Well, we're excited that you're here as well. 26 years old, he's set to become the youngest PSL coach ever. And that's not all, we're talking rugby as well. We've got Dion Khumalo, the Sables star, as well on the show. It's a real packed one.
Yeah, Steve, it's such a packed show. So let's dive right into the matchday 32 results. It was a 1-0 win for Dynamos at Forest Stadium. Emmanuel July slotting home the penalty. Some said it was not really worth the penalty, Steve, but your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought this was the key game that Dynamos had to win to survive because they've got Yada and FC Platinum coming up, which could be tricky. This was the one they needed to secure 3 points. Such a lot of talk around the game, even at the stadium, about whether it was a genuine penalty or not, but they managed to get the result. Telmo Pio was brought down from behind. Emmanuel July converted it. Not a huge crowd there. I was surprised because this was a big pressure contest. I thought there would have been more people there, but they got the job done. It's another win for Kelvin Kaindu. His record with the team is just incredible. They were 8 points deep in the relegation zone when he took over, and now they're 3 points above it, 2 points above it. So incredible performance from Kelvin Kaindu, and they got the job done.
Yeah, he's almost done the impossible.
Yeah.
You could say Calvin Kaindu, and obviously they get the most important 3 points. I felt bad for Bokita Minerals. I was really hoping they would get onto the board, maybe because they also need the points as well. So unfortunate for them. On Saturday, one of the headlining games, Zimbabwe versus Highlanders. For Zimbabwe, this was a final sort of reconciliation if they wanted to try and chase down that title, but a 1-1 draw meant that they will. Not all the league's not finished yet, but they moved down into third. So, Steve, a 1-1 draw, I would say it's a pretty fair result. It was going to be a toss and turn as to whether Highlanders would score. They actually scored first. So not a bad result at all.
Yeah, and Zimbabwe, 6 games, no win in the league. This has been such a flat end to the season. Joel Lupatla was expressing how he's disappointed at how things have just tapered off for Zimbabwe. They've lost that spirit and that fight. At least they managed to come from a goal down to get a point there, but not even in second now as Moores managed a victory.
Yeah, so, yeah, as well, feel sorry for Joel Lupatla. Obviously, he had a lot on his shoulders. Zimbabwe were the reigning champions, and they'll lose out on the 2025 title. And for Moores, they move into a second place after beating Triangle 1-0, despite losing 2-0 at home last weekend. So a good sort of revenge win for the Norton side. And so a lot of things happened over in match day 32, which brings us to our top 11 over the weekend. So Steve, the team of the week, it's going to be an exciting one, slightly different, but it's over to you.
Yeah, so big congratulations to Scotland taking the title with 2 games to spare, and it's been quite a spectacle watching them, especially in the second half of the season with the likes of Knowledge Musona coming back home. Who would have imagined that he would be playing at Rafaro Stadium and elsewhere around the country in the last few months? So we've got a few Scotland players in there. Martin Mapisa for Moors is our goalkeeper that we have picked. As always, you agree or disagree. You can post your comment and say whether you agree or disagree. I was really impressed with Dynamo's defender Isaka Mohammed, the Ghanaian. He joined them in the mid-season transfer window. He did everything you want a centre-back to do, with clearances, with interceptions, and also marking the rivals. So he was just outstanding in defence. Emmanuel Jalai, yeah, he's a cut above the rest of the defenders in the country on many occasions, and he converted the penalty so well, sent the keeper the wrong way, and Jalai just continues to shine. There were a few knocks on him. I was getting a bit worried because we need him for the Africa Cup of Nations, so hopefully he'll get through these last 2 games unscathed before he goes on to national duty. Colin Mujuru of Green Fuel, really clever assist for Green Fuel's crucial stoppage time equaliser. He volleyed the ball across and set it up absolutely perfectly, so Mujuru did well. Ano Guatizo of Yada, who got that 1-0 win over Herentals, he had a good game as well. In midfield, Buthelezwe Ncube for Zimbabwe, he did impress and got a goal. Ishmael Wadi continues to feature in our team of the week, another crucial goal for Caps United. Timon Machope up front, well, what more would you want from a striker? With 2 goals there, an assist, a wonderful solo run, and fired the ball into the back of the net for the first one. And then the penalty for the second goal, and Machope had a great game there. Also for Scotland, Tadiwa Chakuchichi with a goal, and also he won the penalty that Machope converted at the end of the game. We've got Michael Charamba from Chicken Inn, had a good goal in their draw. Benjamin Adeogun of Highlanders in the right place at the right time, in the box where you want your number 9 to be, and slotted the ball in superbly to get the opening goal there. So that's our 11. As always, you can agree, you can disagree.
Yeah, I was impressed with Benjamin Adeogun. He's had a couple of cameos, a couple of flashes of brilliance throughout the season. Nothing too significant, but his performance on Saturday, very good. And off the back of that, I also want to remind it to Kuzwa Chimoa from Kwekwe Steve. That goal from outside the circle, curled it in top right corner. So he also legible for me.
Great finish. He certainly did well there in a heavy losing cause, but he impressed with that. Yeah.
Again, the goal for Kwekwe United. So off the back of that, our player of the week for this week was Tyron Machope. Obviously the brace, a good assist for Kamabiliat's goal, but also just his confidence throughout the game. Had a couple of good shots at the goal. So that is your player of the week, Tyron Machope from Scotland. So Scotland FC, who are the winners of the 2025 Castle Lager PSL season, but from Division 1, FC Hunters winning their league. And it's Clifford Dzvairo with us from FC Hunters, the head coach. Clifford, what a feeling that must be to obviously win your league and also promotion into the PSL.
Yeah, it feels great. We've worked so hard, throughout the season. And it's all what we wanted to do to get promotion at the end of the season. And also, for me personally, it feels so good because I'm getting to tick that big box for me. So early in my coaching career, and it's one of those things I just wanted to do. As early as this.
Yeah. Another great thing, again, promotion. So is it go time? Have you had a bit of time to rest? Are you recuperating for next year? What's been happening since your promotion?
In this industry, there is no time to rest.
None.
Yes, I might try to do that, but you just find yourself, with a pen, maybe, and your notebook, trying to do A, B, C, and especially that now. We're planning for life in the PSL. Yeah, so there is a lot of things to be, to do, and also we are not yet done with our games. There is a top 4 tournament coming on the 22nd of November, and also waiting for the Champions of Champions. So no time to rest at all.
Tell us a bit more about yourself, because remember you came to see us at Star FM 4 years ago when the journey was still pretty new then, and you were telling us about your ambitions and that although you're young, you can be a coach, and 4 years later you've done something absolutely remarkable. So tell us about what kind of a person you are, Clifford.
Very ambitious, like what you said, Steve. I think ever since I started, working in this journey, all I wanted to do was just, to show the world that, anyone can just do anything. So for me, being here doesn't mean that maybe it's because of luck or anything. I've worked hard for this. So it's another way maybe I can describe myself that, I'm a hard worker. And I don't just sit, in terms of what I believe in. I work for them.
Mm. Is there a reason why you're not a player? Did you have any injury?
No. I wanted to be a player. Unfortunately, I got injured while I was doing grade 5. I had an accident, a Scotch card accident, back home in UMP. So since then, my parents never allowed me to play. They will always beat me, even playing Chikweshe, they never allowed me to do that. So it gave birth, to this new passion in me. And I think also I want to give credit to my late grandfather. He was so passionate. He would always encourage me, even though I wasn't allowed to play, he would always encourage me, to follow my heart and to do things I always wanted to do, So I reached that point whereby I would, do my O levels, do my A levels, but I already knew what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Well, and in terms of coaching qualifications, what do you have and how has that been?
I'm currently a CAF C holder and working on my CAF B.
That's good.
Yeah, it's been so difficult to acquire those, especially that they are not coming here in Zimbabwe. We have to go outside to get them done.
Where did you go, Botswana? Or?
For my CAF C, I went to SA. Yeah, and for my CAF B, I'm doing it in Tanzania.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of extra expense.
Exactly.
And being so young, some of the players are older than you. How did you make
Almost
them
all of
listen to
them. Almost all of them. I don't want to lie. There is one thing I've realized with football players. Those guys, they will always respect you no matter your age. Yeah. So long what you are saying to them can convince them to follow you. They can respect or they can die for you. Yeah. So I haven't had any problems ever since I started, practicing as a coach. I haven't had any challenges or problems to do with disrespect or my age or anything.
You haven't been disrespected?
I haven't.
Even if you lose a game, there's no backlash?
No. Like what I said, I think what football players needs, especially from a coach or from their leader, is someone who believes in what he's telling them to do. So as a coach, you have to believe in your ideas before, they buy into them.
Right.
Yeah.
Really interesting. So first club ever from Marandera to play in the PSL. Are you going to be playing in Marandera? Will Rudaka Stadium be ready?
We're hoping that it will be ready by next year when the PSL kicks off, because we want to play in our home, and we want to play in front of our people, and I think that will be great, for the people of Marandera or for the people of Mashonaland East.
Yeah. How crazy has the crowd been in some of these games?
Very crazy, very crazy, especially, in the last final lap of the season. It's been, electric, to be honest enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly talk to Marshal, because you were at an area zone game. The passion outside of the PSL for some of these games is amazing, isn't it?
Definitely, Steve. Once again, congratulations to Clifford. Over the years, I've taken interest in grassroots football locally, even though I've been abroad. Currently, I'm sponsoring the Rusike Area Zone League in Goromonzi. But yesterday, I went to watch a Rua Zonal League game between Nora FC and Tobacco Industry team. Quite interesting as well. It ended as a draw, but crowd was there. Yeah, quite good, really. Good times I had.
Yeah, actually, a couple of people have said that Division 1 just has a sort of, or other divisions outside of the PSL, has a different vibe and energy as compared to the PSL. So you said you start to finish off your season, Cliff, but also looking to next year in the PSL, buying players, transfers. How's that going? Are you looking into that, or you just want to really develop your team and move forward from there?
As of now, we haven't, sat down with the team yet to lay the plans for that. But if we were going to be there for next season, we're going to trust, the team we had last season in the Division 1. But obviously, we're going to make some few additions to the squad.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously, coming to this into the league, every coach has high aspirations, but sometimes you don't do as well as you would like. You can look at Kwekwe United. Is there a small worry in the back of your mind that possibly things next year could go wrong for FC Hunters like it did for Kwekwe?
No, we are not worried at all. At the end of the day, everyone, have their sort of destiny. So we don't know what our destiny would be, but we are not worried about that.
Yeah. Well, winners of the Eastern Region, FC Hunters and Scotland FC, are the champions of the 2025 Castle Premier Soccer League. And currently winning the Moors PSL predictor, it's Simba, who slightly stretches his lead by 5 points over Icon 505. With just 2 predictions, 2 weekends of predicting to do, it is getting super hot at the top of the table. Maddie 04 appears up, coming from 12 places, so obviously a good round for Maddie 04. Steve, how was your round over the weekend?
Struggled with the Saturday games. They were difficult, but I had my joker on Scotland beating Kwekwe United. Not by that margin. I thought maybe 2-0, so I got myself 10 points from there. That kind of helped me, but it was difficult on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a sort of fair weekend for me. As you said, I was for my joker on the Scotland game. Didn't expect Kwekwe to score, so we lost a little bit on a couple of points there, but nothing too major. Guys, it is tea time. It is a countdown to the end of the season. Make sure you do your predictions at fanzone.co.zw. Maybe win a sweepstake. And there's also game time available as well. Make sure you are following us on our social media handles.
So we've got big guests on the show this week. Still to come, Dion Khumalo from the Sables. But before we get to that, Marshal Gore is here. Marshal is around, and great to have him with us in the Fanzone studio. So Marshal's been in Zimbabwean football for so many years, decades. So current title, ZIFA Diaspora Engagement and International Relations. And we know, Marshal, that it's the diaspora is such a key aspect of our Warriors. But first, just tell us a bit about yourself and your journey, because also you ran in the ZIFA elections, but you lost out there. But now you hold this position still. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for inviting me to the show, Steve. Yes, I've been involved with Zimbabwean football for the last 25 years. My background of football is grassroots football here. I also played in the Goromonzi area zone in the 90s. Went on to play for One Commando Football Club in Division 2, and then emigrated to the UK, where I played semi-professional football for Hendon Football Club and for other lower division clubs. I then transformed my career into administration, where I did a lot of work in the UK in developing 40 community football clubs across England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. And this led to the idea now of inviting players of Zimbabwean origin to come and play for the national team. We started this project in 2012, but we started having results around 2015 when the Tendai Darikwas came, Macaulay Born started getting involved with the national team. And if I look back, it's been a great success. I think I drew a lot of satisfaction when Tawanda Maswanise scored that goal against Kenya, which took us to the AFCON. So it's been a lot of hard work with a lot of other people contributing, not only myself, my colleagues at Team Zimbabwe UK, and some other colleagues from ZFL also being key. So I'm proud to have led the integration of diaspora players with our national team, and it's been huge.
Yeah, I mean, great work, because there are actually hundreds of potential Zimbabwe players in the UK and elsewhere around Europe who might hold different passports these days, but because of their parentage, they could play for the Warriors. There's just so many out there, aren't there?
Yes, indeed. I think there's a lot on our database. We're currently sitting on close to almost 192 players that are playing semi-pro and professional football. In the Premier League alone, we have 16 players of Zimbabwean origin that are attached to clubs in the Premier League. We also have a lot of players in Australia playing in the Australian Pro League, Canada as well. And we have kept abreast with all the activities from the age of 14, and it's growing. And I'm glad that ZIFA saw it befitting to put a committee that looks into these affairs. And I'm glad that we have started work now. I'm due to meet the technical director of ZIFA to see how we can embed the diaspora strategy in the existing football development plan locally. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, let me take it back. Did you say there's 16 potential Zimbabweans in the English Premier League?
Yes, there are 16 players
Really?
affiliated with Premier League clubs at under 21 level,
Right.
and some actually featuring in the for their clubs like Tawanda Chirewa for Wolves.
Yeah. Wow. And were we a little bit slow to jump on this? You've done great work there, but we saw other nations, especially around Africa, I think starting to recruit or to look to scout for players in the diaspora. I mean, Cape Verde, who qualified for the World Cup, is a massive example, isn't it? So were we a little bit behind on this?
Yeah, we were behind. I think there was a lot of resistance, but I can also understand the people that were against the project. I think they thought that these players have privilege to come and play for their national team. But again, national team football is about taking your best players where they are to play for football. One of the main objectives of national team football is to bring the country together. So no matter where people are, if they're good enough, they should be given a chance to play for their national team. But I think over the years, we've done also a lot of work in educating the football fraternity about the advantage we have as a country. That I know we haven't had very strong football development programs in the last 20 years. So the diaspora presents an opportunity for us to circumvent that gap by bringing this talent. But that doesn't mean we are saying we should always go for the talent from Europe. No, we use it now whilst we strengthen grassroots football development. And if we have both a strong talent search here, development of talent, and the diaspora, we augment them. For example, Morocco got to the semi-finals of the World Cup through that. They had almost 60% diaspora and 40 local, but it took them to the World Cup. And my goal is to have a similar sort of setup with a strong governance framework of making sure that the best players who are Zimbabweans, no matter where they are, they should be given an option to also play for the national team if they're good enough to do that. Not just because they're in the diaspora, but just because they are talented enough to warrant to play for the team. Yeah.
Because a few years back, we were probably looking at South Africa, Zimbabweans who started at home and moved there, and they were a big part of the national team. But now it's changed. One of the advantages, if you're taking someone from Europe, one of the advantages is that they are technically very good, especially if they've been in academies from a young age. Yeah.
Exactly, and to be honest, it's an advantage for us that we're tapping this talent. And like you said, it's not only us. Senegal have done the same. Cape Verde have done the same. So this model does work if it's managed properly. And I think at this moment in time, I actually feel that we are one of the best placed country in Africa with a lot of diaspora talent, and we should benefit. And Steve, also just to add that not only do these players bring their talent, look at Jordan Zemura. He came to play for the national team. and he got attached to the country. He's now invested in a football foundation. So it's also benefiting the country. And I was speaking with Tawanda Chirewa and the family during the Rwanda and South Africa game. They were also consulting with me to see how Tawanda can also invest locally into the game. So not only are these players just bringing their talent, but they are also an investment hub for our future football. And we must harness them to also be investment tools in grassroots football.
What happened with Macaulay Bonnie? He was set to play in the last AFCON we qualified for, and I think you helped to get him a passport, and then he seemed to go cold at the last minute. Some of these negotiations are really long, aren't they, that you enter into, and it doesn't always work.
Yeah, it was a pity at that time, and I mentioned it to Macaulay.
He was with Charlton at the time.
Yeah, he was with Charlton and QPR at that time. There were issues surrounding his health, which obviously I cannot disclose here, but I felt at that time that if he was cleared by the doctors to play in the championship, he could have also played for the national team. And but I think things have since been resolved. He's keen to come back and play. He had issues with finding a club. He's got a club now, and hopefully the new coach who comes would be able to consider him. He's got a great track record for the national team. He's almost played in every game he's played for the Zimbabwe national team. And I think if he is fit and the coach sees it otherwise, he'll be a good addition to our strike force since we are struggling for goals.
Sure. Yeah. Just to ask you, Marshal, because you've obviously been in this setup and this sort of environment, with the wide net of diaspora we have as Zimbabweans, do we still have a long list of players knocking and waiting to play for the Warriors? Are the numbers slowly reducing? What's happening in that sort of realm?
Well, players are coming every week and every month. We get new players coming. My policy and my thinking is that we don't beg for players to play for the national team. Most of the players we have were willing and keen and play for the national team. I think my role has been to educate them about Zimbabwean football, to nurture and induct them on the expectations of African football. It's a different ballgame. So that's what we did when someone expresses that they are willing to represent the country. We go through an induction process where we educate them about the environment of playing football in Africa so that we prepare them psychologically. And obviously, the greater part is done by the coach because I don't select players to play in the national team. What my job is to find the players, negotiate with them, and support them to get the paperwork, for example, the passport, and then report to ZIFA to say we have X number of players that we have managed to support to get their passports. This is the performance that they're doing. So it's up to the coaches to look at them in under 20. And I think things have improved. I think in the last under 20 tournament, which happened in Mozambique, we had about 3 players from the diaspora. Alex was also quite good. He was called for the COSAFA team together with Mendy Mazwi. So it's a process. But I think we've done a lot more work. But I think in the past, yes, there have been other coaches who saw things differently. Again, I will not castigate them for doing that. It's also the exposure. Yeah. But what I've been calling for ZIFA through the engagement program, which happened earlier this year, is for national team coaches, when there are no games, to also come to the UK and see firsthand some of these players. I think it does help from the under-17 coach, under-20 coach, to be able to be afforded the opportunity to come into the diaspora and assess this talent, rather than call for players to come and for trials here, especially if they are already in reputable clubs, academies, which is what we are discussing with ZIFA now, to say from next year, let's have a program where actually the coaches go to Europe or to Australia to assess the talent themselves. And then that takes the prejudice of us being seen as the ones who handpick or nominate players to come to the national team. And we are open and transparent in that manner. As a committee, that's what we're advocating for.
Do you think there should be some sort of lower level, that we don't go any lower than, for example, take Premier League and Championship in England, but we wouldn't go any lower? Like Jonah Fabish is in the German 3rd tier. Is that too low, or we can still find gems if we scout around at that level even?
Steve, a lot of people have asked me about that. But if we are to be realistic and honest, and calling a spade, Cape Verde have qualified for the World Cup using some players that are playing in the 4th division in France. and in Portugal.
Right.
So, to be honest,
Fourth tier.
yeah. I've watched our local league here. There's a lot of room to improve, But I actually think that if you take our Premier League clubs and put them in the Conference League in the UK, they'd struggle to win it from a physical point of view and a lot of other technicalities. I just think that putting a cap will be restricting talent. I think we're having a discussion before we came into the show that sometimes if a player is playing even in the first division, I think Clifford can attest that the top goal scorer in the first division has got 19 goals. And then if you look that maybe the top goal scorer in the Prem is on 9 or 11 goals. So sometimes football sense tells us that a proven goal scorer can score goals in the first division. They can also score in the Prem. So it's a debate for another day. But I think putting a cap on that will be difficult. Jonah Fabish, third division in Germany, he came in against Rwanda. Amazing. Never put a pass wrong. He was confident. He was playing in the hole. Good scanning vision. Spot on tackles. So that tells the story also that if a player who's playing in the third division can come into our national team and give... look at the Rwanda goalkeeper. He's a substitute at, I think, Kaiser Chiefs. Kaiser Chiefs, yeah. But he put in a brilliant performance against us. So we leave those issues to the coaches, but I'm open.
Okay, so in your view, the Zimbabwean clubs, Zimbabwe FC Platinum, Highlanders, whatever, they would equate to a fifth-tier club in England that would be in the Conference League, if you're to compare the standard?
Well, I would say to that, and this is backed by evidence. In the past 10, 15 years, I've worked with players that have left the Zimbabwean Premier League on their prime, and they've come to the UK. David Sengu, Leonard Tsipa, even the likes of Morgan Katazo and a lot of other players. When they came in, they struggled actually to make it in League Two. Not saying it's the culture also and the environment. And football is it's very difficult to compare football because you can also bring someone from the UK who's playing in the Premier League. You put him in our Premier League, he may struggle because of the conditions. So there are a lot of factors. It's not necessarily to say, but I think the most important thing is to say we have not done well to invest in our infrastructure so that our players can compete abroad. I actually think in the region we have actually the worst infrastructure from a football perspective. If you compare ourselves, I had a tour in Zambia and I had a tour of Malawi as well. If you look at the structures and the investment in Premier League clubs, I'm so glad of what Scotland, Zimbabwe and Moors have done. This is the right direction and most teams should follow this pattern. So I'm highlighting these things to say that we must do a lot to improve, not to look down on our football. I'm a product of it. I played in the second division and I love Zimbabwean football. But I'm disheartened sometimes when we are not putting the right investment in place. And I trust this new ZIFA board that these are the areas they'll work to improve. And everybody wants to see our football at the top. Come on, why would Zimbabwe lose to a team from Eswatini? I traveled to Eswatini. It was the infrastructure. If you look at the stadium in Eswatini that team was using, the investment that has been put there, you could see it clearly. Why would we lose to Lesotho and lose 6 points to Lesotho? These things aren't just happening. It's also starting that we have not paid a lot of attention to the nitty-gritty of our football. And it's high time we work together with the Premier League and the Football Association to also address these issues. Infrastructure deficit in the country is dire. It needs also government involvement. I said this during my campaign, and I've said this to Ngobile, that we must get government coming to invest. For example, my brother is here. We need Rugby Stadium to be compliant. I would also be urging hunters to speak with the State Minister of Mashonaland East to get government in. It's an asset that is going to bring investment in the province. And I think the minister must come in. We must have a project that should be costed and go to the Minister of Finance that it's a good thing that we have a club from Mashonaland East. So all these things, I won't say much here, but these are the things that we need to rectify. And I've been meeting global key stakeholders to attract investment to come into the country. It hasn't been easy, but I'm doing it because of the passion I have for local football. So I'll be having meetings with the Football Association to ensure that we can find a way of making Zimbabwe football attractive and cost some of the projects we need. Rudaka, quite interesting, and it's something that we must all come together. It shouldn't be left to hunters alone. Football Association needs to come. The PSL must also support them to be compliant. It's not about them. It's about Zimbabwean football.
Wow, really strong comments. Clifford, as a coach, do you see a difference with these boys who've grown up in England? Maybe they've been in an academy since the age of 6 or 7, and if you compare to a player here who's started football at a later age, can you see a difference?
Definitely, a big one. Because I think the difference now is those guys overseas, they put much more, time and effort to develop you as a player in terms of, how you can play, basic football, from a young age. And here, in Division 1, we're coaching players who are maybe coming to start playing at the age of 20, maybe after school.
Starting at 20?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's just starting to try something new because there is nothing out there to do, you see. But there, it's a profession. A parent knows, this kid, I want him to be a player. So they can, put, those kids in academies from the young age as compared to,
That's
to us.
interesting. Marshal, just on a lighter note, tell us about the social football scene in the UK. I know life is tough for a lot of Zimbabweans who are there, but there's a lot of former Zimbabwe players doing social football. Memory Machera Ho, I think, was one of the leaders doing that. Tell us what you guys do with social fun football in the UK.
Thanks, Steve, for asking about that. What we've done in the UK, through Team Zimbabwe UK, the organization I founded and I was working with, we've built an ecosystem which has helped to support even our players through our Legends Union that we have. Players like Maxo Dube Marino is now running an academy in Gore.
Is he?
Yeah. But again, it's supported. The seed capital is also coming from some of the legends. I think we have Libat Masunda also involved. So what we have done, we've set up a legends team, which is the hub of information, and they go around also to play friendly matches, bringing community cohesion together. But the most important team is that we have been able to set up a satellite team in every city in the UK. There's a team in Bradford, there's a team in Manchester. We have 40 community thriving football clubs. Some of them play in the local leagues. But these clubs have helped us to know where the players are. And some of the players that you have seen graduating, like Macaulay Bond, he used to play for a local team in East London, and then he goes on to become a pro player. Bradley Pritchard, another one, he came from a club called Shumba Warriors, which was in South London. So I knew his father. So that's how we started tracking these players. So the football ecosystem, which we have, and I was glad before I came here, I went to Belfast and to Dublin to visit the 2 community football clubs that we have there. They're blending older players with young talent as well. And many players have been scouted by clubs from those community teams into professional football. And I think it's a legacy that if it's well-natured, it will help us to create a strong community, not just for players that will become international players, but even people playing for their own well-being, for their own mental health, like you highlighted. Life is not easy in the diaspora. So those community clubs have become the hubs for social entertainment for many Zimbabweans during summer. And I'm glad that the legacy continues, even if I'm here.
Who are some of the legends or former stars that you might find at some of these games?
Oh, I can name them. The Ashley Lambane Pasi came.
Yes.
They've joined the legends now. There's Tichawana Nyeda, who was with Caps. Tsipa is back again after being in China. He's back again. Innocent Mugabe is also there. And then you have David Kuchkauripo was also there. Thomas Sweswe is also there now. I think we're actually planning that next year we might bring the Zim UK legends to come here and play a charity football match with the proceeds going into grassroots football. It's something that I'm working together with my colleagues at Team Zimbabwe UK, and I'll be advising the Football Association on that. And I think it's a great concept to use those legends to also support the development of our game here.
Wow. Keep up the good work, Marshal.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate especially those stars who've come through as high as the Warriors. It's so important for our football.
Yeah. Well, from grassroots to greatness, Dion Khumalo starred in the under-20 side, lighting up the field, and has now found his way into the senior Sables men's setup. So we talked to him in Beyond the Pitch. All right, Dion Khumalo is joining us from the rugby side. As I said earlier on, under-20 rugby star, and also now in the Sable men's. Dion, it's a great day to you. How are you feeling this morning? I know you had a game on the weekend. How are the Bruisers doing?
Hi, Sibs. Thanks for having me. All is well. The Bruisers are still there, but it's on Monday. You have to continue going because we have training this evening, and we're now preparing for the Zambesi Challenger, which is coming up, I think, on the 8th and on the 9th. And Kenya is coming through, and Zambia as well is coming through. So it's quite a tough tournament for us.
Yeah, so it's going to be very exciting. Before we get there, let's cast your mind all the way back to your under-20 days, 2023 Bart's Trophy winner, went to the Junior World Trophy, very good tournament all in all. What are some of your highlights from your under-20 year you had there in that setup?
Those were super exciting times. I remember winning the Bart's Trophy for the first time. That was in 2022. We came in as underdogs. I think the last time we won the trophy at under-20 level was 2008, if I still remember very well the dates. We went into the tournament, we played, and surprisingly we won for the first time. We had something tangible in the rugby setups, which was given up by the under-20s. We went into the following year, which was the back-to-back year, which was 2023. Exciting times as well. There's nothing hard than defending a title. You know, we went into the tournament as defending champions. We won it again, and winning that Africa Cup thing made us earn a ticket to the Junior World Trophy, which happened in August, which was a whole new level, whole new setup in terms of rugby. We're meeting teams like Scotland, Uruguay, USA, those type of teams. So I feel like the level went a bit up, and we went to it was quite tough. I have to say it was tough. We played our first two games. I think we lost to Scotland, and the next game was Uruguay. We lost. Then we played USA. We won to USA, and we played against Chile. We lost. Sorry. Yeah, we won to Kenya. Sorry, my bad. I'm kind of forgetting. And then we were ranked, I think, 12th in the whole world, which was exciting moments for us because there are two divisions. There's the championships and the Junior World Trophy. So it's sort of like championships has 8 teams, and this one had 8 teams. So we came forth and we were ranked number 12, which was quite good, a great feeling for us. And
so obviously on that note, 12 is definitely the best the 20s had gone to. So a lot of people described your generation, the two back-to-back Bart's Trophy winners, as you know, as the new golden age group of rugby. And since then, some of you have shifted to the Sables, the likes of you, Brian Chang's also had a couple of stints in there, Adrian Sigalke also in the setup, and Simba. But besides the 4 of you, it seems that like playing for the Sables is not a top priority once guys have played for the under-20s. Is that true? Why do you think that there's a sort of gap between the under-20s and the senior men's?
I wouldn't know much about that, but I feel like in life you just have to decide what you want. Yeah. Most of these players, they go out of the country to pursue education. Some of them looking for greener pastures in terms of rugby. So many reasons attached to that, but I know of some players like Alex Nyamunda. He's in the US. He's playing there. He's also studying as well. I think I met Matipano a few days ago. He's back. He just graduated. Those are some of the stars that were in under-20. So it's sort of like they left rugby for them to pursue education. So I feel like we all have different goals in life. So my goal was to pursue rugby, and I'm sort of like a businessman. So it's sort of like that way.
Yeah. And so fast forward a year, you're now into the Sable setup. You're playing against Zambia. You also go to the Africa Cup. You win it. And fast forward even a year later, you qualify for the World Cup. You know, how was that?
The feeling. I can't imagine the feeling. Things are sort of like moving fast for me in my life. But Yeah, the feeling is great. In the Sables, it's a whole new setup. I mean, you coming from the under-20s, you have your way of doing things, but then you get into a setup where it's now a senior men's team. And this guy, yes, a new coach. Everything is just new. The setup is just new. And as a player, as an individual, you have to adjust. You know, you're just a rookie. You're used to just, playing around with your friends and all that. But these guys now, they take it serious. They take it personal. When it's time to do the job, they have to do the job. So, yeah, the feeling was great. I mean, the guys are welcoming as well. If you're a rookie, they'll make you feel at home. You have always the brothers keepers that are always there, the Brandon, the Mzekenyezes, those guys, they'll always help you. But what I can say is that they helped me to break out of the shell, because when you're a rookie, you always feel like I am a light here. I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not allowed to do that. But with these big brothers that you have, they'll always make you feel comfortable, and they'll make you see the other side of rugby, that you have to take it serious. A lot of people are depending on this, and you're not doing it for yourself. Don't be selfish. You have lighties that are coming up that are still at under 20 levels, under 18, under 14. You have to do it for them. So by understanding that, that's how we got to the World Cup qualifications. We had to settle down and understand that it's not about us only. It's about a million people back home in Zimbabwe that we need to do this for. So we just had to fight, despite the history that we had. You know that we last qualified, I think 31 years ago. I was not even born. Most of the players were not even born, none of them. Probably the coaches and the staff. So, yeah, it was a great feeling, trust me, it was.
You've adapted really well to the setup. As you said, you had to level up your game. So much so as to, before the Africa Cup, a couple months before, Zimbabwe played Botswana as a warm-up fixture here at Harare Sports Stadium. And Pete Bernardi named you the captain. So arguably one of the youngest Sables captains ever. Like, what was going through your mind to be given such a duty and a role at just 22? Are you even 22 yet?
I'm currently 22, turning 23 next year.
Next year, exactly. Just 22.
Yeah, I was surprised, I won't lie. The big boss, Pete, he called me and he was like, boy, you're going to be leading the team on the weekend. I was like, what about U20? He was like, he's going to be there. I'm like, okay, am I the one who's going to lead the national team at 22? So a lot of things were going through my mind, like, am I ready for this? Am I the right person? What's going on? It was like, I think he was just trying to see if we have people that can step up to the next level if this crop of guys decide to hang their boots. So yeah, I guess I gave him the right perspective, and it was amazing. Trust me, just leading a national team at 22 was truly amazing. And it's not like they put a big burden on my shoulders. I have help of everyone. You know, Aiden is there, Marshal is there, U20 himself is there. I was surprised when the captain's run, he was asking me, Skipper, what should we do? I'm like, you're asking me. He's like, yes, you are captain. You have to take it. You are captain. You have to lead us this weekend. I was like, okay, I have to run the captain's run. So yeah, it was a great feeling, and I couldn't believe it myself.
Yeah, and you won the match as well. Which
yes.
A very, very good result.
70-something nil.
Yeah. Speaking of greener pastures, a lot with the Diaspora, if you look at the starting 15 rather, of the team that went to the Africa Cup, about 85% of them were from overseas. So you can clearly tell it's attractive to Boss Pete, as you call him. Have you ever considered, has you ever turned your head maybe to playing rugby abroad, SA, Spain, France, Portugal, the States? Have you ever considered that?
Yes, I have. Honestly, for me to level up and upskill myself, I have to obviously look for a club that will obviously sharpen me for what's ahead of me. And also at the same time, I always keep in mind that we have to cement our grassroots and our local league that we have here. It's very ideal for us to have a solid local league that's bringing up players that are going to be playing for the national team as well. But at the same time, I'm also looking at outside. So I'm kind of like caught in between of what I need to do, but I'm yet to decide whether I should go abroad or stay and cement the local league. But I'm open for suggestions.
Have you approached anyone? Has anyone approached you, or you're still? It's more just a thought now. Or
No one has approached.
no one's approached
No one has approached.
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
Speaking of leagues, Kairos have started a new tournament, the Grid Cup. We're starting a franchise rugby, which is great. All the big sides in the rugby world have franchises. So, what are your thoughts on the league, the competition, the positives it can bring?
Yes, the Greek Cup. So far, it's going well. It's a good initiative. It's a good program. It's the way that it was set up, the way the players that were chosen, the way everything is just designed. It's so perfect. Players are chosen countrywide. You get to choose a player from Matebeleland, Marsh East, and all that, and you guys come together to make up a team to play together. So I just love how all the Sables players were evenly distributed into teams. You know, so if a guy from Blawayo gets to meet a Sable, you guys get to pass the ball together in a rugby field. You know, you just don't know how much impact you bring to that youngster. So I feel like it's a good program for taking rugby across the nation, and we're just hoping that in the near future we'll have probably 6 teams or 8 that can come to go. So far we only have 4 teams, and it's quite tough. I'm sure the fans have been coming through and they have been seeing that it has been a tough competition, and yeah,
it's definitely hard competition, like good pieces. It's really, it's tough, it's challenging. But what is new to us, at least from Paramount Garment, if you want to play for OH, you can sort of just pitch up to the training.
Yes.
Whereas with the Grid Cup, you have to be drafted. It's a
Yes,
proper system. So it separates, it's the cream of the crop when it comes to Zimbabwean rugby. So that's great. Your team, the Sunrays, doing a great job, actually. 2 from 2 wins, sitting at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Mr. Skipper at the top. How's that feel?
It feels great. I feel like with the boys we have some good chemistry. Just coming in, I decided to, not myself, but the technical team, they decided to go with young, with a little bit of experience, and we blended so well. We're going quite so well. We have our structures. I think they're working for us, and everything I think is just coming in our direction, and we are so happy with where we are. We'll be playing the Valley Blades, which is U20's team. Quite tough playing against my captain, but we're just hoping that everything will always fall in our places, and we're pulling in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, a player you mentioned who's helped mentor you was Kudzai, and you guys played the MPs last week. He's the captain, but he was injured. I was looking forward to the battle between you two as the centers.
Yeah,
I know he plays 12.
There's always a battle with Mashawi. He calls me his lighty, and I refuse to be called a lighty when it comes to the game. He mentors me. He's actually a good guy, and I also get a mentorship from Mudzegenyezi, Brendan. Those are good people. Those are my brothers. Those are people that always want to see the best out of me. So I appreciate them for the work that they put in throughout.
Yeah. Indeed, it's not just 15s that you play, it's also 7. So a full busy calendar, 2 weekends of rugby of 15s. This week is the Zambesi Challenger. So no rest for you. As you said, it's going to be tough. Kenya's now invited. So are you going to be able to handle the stress, the training?
Yes, we have to, because the fans are expecting results. And Kenya, it's not always an easy team. Same applies to Zambia and all the other teams that are going to be coming through. Yeah. And with Kenya, it's always, those are our brothers, but it's always a battle between us. I mean, coming from under 20s, we've always had grudges with Kenya. And up to senior men's, we still have grudges. And we played them recently in the Safari Sevens, and we lost to them because certain reasons. We lost, we accept, but they're coming into our home soil, into our territory. We're just hoping for the best, and we make sure that they don't go out free.
Yeah, so some exciting times in your rugby career. Looking ahead, obviously you'd like to be captain again. Do you think that'll be happening anytime soon, or you're not really quite sure?
I'm not really quite sure.
Not quite sure.
Yeah, maybe the big boss will know.
The big boss will know.
Yeah.
And preparation for the World Cup. You know that there's a new system coming through. You might be playing against tier 2 teams, Japan, Uruguay, Chile, those sort of guys. How's your preparation? as a team, as yourself?
Preps are going well. As an individual, obviously, you have to be visiting the gym day in, day out. That has to be like your daily bread, sharpening your skills. And as a team, guys are already back on the pitch. I mean, we played in August the qualifiers, and now the Greed Cup is sort of like helping us get that game time in. And guys are obviously going to the gym personally as a unit. And next year, I'm sure we have a few games, not few, but many games that are now coming. We are happy that we'll be thrown into the deep end. I mean, that's where we are now. We're now at the world stage, and it has to happen. You know, we now have to take a step up. I know we'll be playing bigger teams, and yeah, the boys are pretty excited for the challenge ahead, and we're just hoping for the best.
And your thoughts and words on P. Bernardi as a coach, obviously qualified for the World Cup, also two-time Africa Cup winning coach, so obviously a man who knows his things. What are your thoughts on him?
Obviously, he is a good man. I mean, the results are there. He has won the Africa Cup twice, and he has taken us to the World Cup. I mean, we last went, like I said, 32 years ago, and all thanks to him and his spinal cord. I mean, the staff, the technical guys that are always there for him. They're very supportive. I mean, they're always there for him. So overall, I just feel like Peter's a good man. He is a man. He's a go-getter, actually. He knows what he wants, and he states it, and he believes in us. So we shouldn't let him down wherever we're going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you for coming on, Didza. I will see you over the weekend at the Zambesi Challenger Sevens. How many tries are you scoring this weekend?
It's quite tricky.
3, 4, 5?
Usually myself, I don't score tries. I make
you
other
like to
people.
assist.
I actually like to assist. I make other people look good. So that's how I am.
That's what I am, yeah. Well, anyway, I'll see you there over the weekend.
Thank you.
Stepping away from the rugby field, over in Chivu over the weekend, it was the Trabablas gloves on tournament, 24 fights in one night. So absolutely very commendable, Steve, that the boxing is going to Chivu. We had Priscilla Karungure last week on the show. She's the Zimbabwe National Boxing and Wrestling Control Board. So you can check that episode out. The link is in the description. But obviously, boxing in Chivu, what a great turnout.
Yeah, Charles Manucci, part of this. We understand it went on the whole night from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. There were big prizes, double cab and a single cab as well. So this was really good, especially after what we heard last week from Priscilla.
Yeah, so it seems that the boxing is growing and the sport is becoming and turning into a whole new level. Maybe the revival days are just around the corner. And with the big prizes that boxing had won, it's funny to see that over the weekend or during the week, Highlanders players allegedly boycotted their training sessions. So let's talk about that in Rumours and Rubbish. Yeah, so last week, Tuesday at Barberfields, allegedly Highlanders, some of the players had boycotted the training session over disputes that they had not been paid bonuses and sign-on fees, which is very surprising, Steve, because Wicknell had given them the second installment, so they are paid up to $500,000 now. So something like this financial issue should not be popping up at this moment in time.
Yeah, that's right. Dynamos have had issues as well, and both clubs have got sponsorships, so the salaries go direct from the sponsor to the players, but these are issues of the club not honouring sign-on fees and bonuses, and you should have more money to play around with if you've got a sponsor taking care of the main business of the salaries, especially in the case of Highlanders, where they're getting bigger crowds than any other club as well. So it was really disappointing. It doesn't paint a good picture at all.
Yeah. Cliff, I know you're a coach. You know, your players, they love the game, but they also have to be compensated at the end of the day. They need to put food on the table, you as well. How important is it being paid and, you know, to feel like you're worth your money?
It is important. Like you said, some of these guys, breadwinners, you know, back home. So they're playing to also feed their families. And also, you know, they have a lot of responsibilities, you know. So it is important, while at least you are playing, to get, you know, compensated for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Let us know your thoughts on the Highlanders not paying the sign-on fees. Is it a mistake, or are we just making things up? But obviously in the rumours and rubbish section. Last week also, Ngubile Magwizi, the ZIFA president, announced that there will be a new Warriors coach, and they also put on an application form, and allegedly over 300 applications have gone. And so, Marshal, what do you think of this? You know, putting out an application form because it seems really bizarre to do that sort of thing.
Well, maybe the thought of it was to drive transparency and to be clear and give opportunities. But my own way of thinking is that as a football association, we should know the type of coach we want, actually the model of football that we want that mirrors the talent that we have. And I think that's the most important thing, to sit down with our technical director and say, this is how we want to go. And then when we do that, so firstly is to map a strategy of our model of football that we want to see across our national teams, from under 17, under 20, under 23 to the main national team. Once you have done that, then the priority will be to look for the person who can help us to go and achieve our vision that we want to achieve. So I believe that the best way to do it would have been to headhunt the coach who meets this model that we have. But the way they've done it is also good enough in terms of if now the resource capacity, bearing in mind that the AFCON is nearby. So now we need efficiency to process the applications and get the right person, shortlist, get people to come. I'm assuming that some of these candidates are abroad, so they have to come into the country. There could be visa complications and all these things. So again, it's manageable. These are just different models I'm looking at. It's just a pity that I'm in the diaspora engagement and I'm not in the technical committee that deals with it. But I also respect the decision that they have done. I would want a substantive coach to come now and take us through to AFCON. I'm not for an interim coach, because it takes a lot of responsibility away from the coach. This AFCON is huge for us. We really need to show our potential in this AFCON. So whoever is going to come in, I think they have to be responsible also to deliver the AFCON. If they are part-time, it becomes difficult to give them a KPI if they know that they're going to be out after the AFCON. But again, we are still waiting for that. This is all speculation. But I do respect the process as well.
Some coaches wouldn't fill in an application form, would they? I doubt if Jose Mourinho has ever filled in a form, is it?
Yeah, I think that's also an issue. I am well in touch with a lot of international coaches, and I had some of them actually complaining that this is not maybe the best way to do business. But it is what is there, and we have to support the process. But I think it slows up the process. And I actually think that at this level, we must know what we want. And we must go and look for it and then bring it. You know, we may maybe have 2 or 3 people that we have, interview them, and then the panel might select. But to cast the net wide, you probably get a lot of more people. And nowadays, with the FIFA openness and transparency as well, if you do select someone and many people have applied, they'll also ask for you to give them feedback, and they can take you to task if the feedback is not adequate enough. So it opens a lot of loopholes in that department. But again, we are where we are now, and we have to support the guys, and hopefully that they deliver and give us someone who will take our football forward.
Out of the alleged 3,000, it's rumoured that Chris Hughton, who used to coach Tottenham Hotspur FC, applied for the position. It's rumoured. Again, could we afford him? The debates about international versus local. Your thoughts on that, Steve?
Surely not. This is Tottenham. He was Brighton coach as well. He left Ghana in a very bad space. That was his last international job, and it didn't go well there as they had a very bad patch. But he must be out of our league, I would have thought.
Yeah, so let us know who your thoughts are. A lot of people are saying Kaitano Tembo is the next person in, but obviously good news that Tondrai Ndarai and Joel Lupatla are going to be assistants. I think rewarding those 2 coaches who've done the best in the PSL. Good for the nation, bringing up football overall. On the topic of Joel Lupatla, it's Zimbabwe who miss out on a back-to-back Castle Lager PSL title, and it is Scotland who take the 2025 championship. So with Zimbabwe losing out on back-to-back titles, this week's question for Game Time is which two teams hold the record for the most consecutive Castle Lager Premier Soccer League titles? Make sure you follow us on social media so that you will be able to find the secret code and then punch it in on our Fanzone website, which is fanzone.co.zw. But Cliff, Marshal, thank you so much for sitting in the Fanzone with us. Dion's not here at the moment, but thank you as well, Dion. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable episode. Cliff, wishing you all the best for the end of the season, but also next year as well. We'll be looking forward to seeing how FC Hunters does. Maybe a couple of players will be making the team of the week, Steve, which will be very exciting as well. Marshal, Gore, with your academy, it's going to be a brilliant day. So thank you for sitting in the Fan Zone.
Thanks for hosting us.
If you've enjoyed this content, make sure you turn on the notification bell so you're alerted every time we upload a video. There's a Fanzone podcast and Larry's Look at the League, which is booming. Also, do your last two predictions. If you're only joining us now, it's unfortunate, but there's still private leagues you can open, maybe for bragging rights amongst your friends and family. But that's us from the Fanzone studio, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.